Another interesting way to think about our market positioning. So we looked at a two-dimensional marketing positioning matrix before, but there is a very interesting additional way to think about market positioning, and this comes from a book called Blue Ocean Strategy, which is originally designed for existing companies to think about, help them to think about entering new markets, but it is based on, the strategy is based on a concept called value innovation. And I find that this strategy can be very easily and effectively applied to startup companies. You notice value innovation seems a lot like, or uses some of the same words as our innovation value proposition concept. And I think this is something that we can learn from as a startup company. Typically, marketing strategies will take one of two directions. One is increase value for customers. Two is be the low-cost producer. So fundamental marketing strategy for companies: we can produce our products at a lower cost than competitors, or we can provide the highest possible value for customers. And traditional marketing strategy, we want to choose one of those. With a value innovation strategy, we are able to be both the low-cost producer and provide higher value product for customers. So how does that value innovation strategy work? It's based on this 4 factors model, where we will reduce, create, raise, and eliminate factors of competition in our market. And by doing so, we will be able to achieve this previously sort of unimaginable outcome, where we are both a low-cost producer and providing the highest value products for customers. This is an example of a Blue Ocean strategy canvas illustrating this value innovation strategy. I find this example very interesting because this is an example of using an innovative, launching an innovative product in a very old market. The market covered in this example is the wine market. So if you think about the age of various product markets, wine has been sold for literally thousands of years. And still, companies are able to come up with innovative products in this market after many thousands of years of wine production. So this is a strategy canvas for a company called Yellowtail, which released an innovative wine product that focused on the value innovation strategy. So when they were looking for their market opportunity in the wine market, they first examined the current state of the market. You can see here the strategy canvas has along the x-axis the existing factors of competition, and along the y-axis it shows the level of those factors of competition that are in the products offered by the various market segments. In this case, we can see that the original market is segmented into 2, premium wine and budget wine. Premium wine companies compete by offering high levels of each of the factors of competition at a high price. And some of those factors of competition are aging quality, vineyard prestige and legacy, wine complexity, and the complication of the wording on the labels. Budget wines compete by offering medium levels of the same factors of competition at a low price. So if you think a little more deeply about this market, we can pretty quickly see that this is what we call red ocean market. red ocean market means the market is very crowded, and the ocean of this market is red because the blood of competition. So there's so many competitors and they're fighting each other in such a small space that the water has turned red. Blue ocean, on the other hand, a blue ocean market is a market with much less competition where we can enter and hopefully generate excess returns. So you can see how did Yellowtail actually accomplish this? They launched a wine that was appealing to and got its customers from where? The Yellowtail product. Did they target premium wine drinkers or budget wine drinkers? Actually, they targeted neither. What they did was they pioneered a new segment in the wine market. And that new segment was alcohol drinkers who were not currently drinking wine. This is a very attractive segment because, why? It's not served, obviously, by the current competitors because these customers are not drinking wine. In order to target this segment, the first thing that the Yellowtail guys needed to do was understand why this segment was not drinking wine. The other very important benefit of this segment versus the wine segment is the segment of alcohol drinkers who are not currently drinking wine is much bigger than the wine market because the alcohol market is a huge superset of the wine market. So it's much larger than the existing wine market, and it's empty of competition because none of the existing players are selling to this market. Now, Yellowtail then has to establish why are these alcohol drinkers not currently drinking wine. To understand that, they looked at what were they drinking. They were drinking beer and cocktails. So why were they drinking beer and cocktails and not wine? They asked customers. So the first most common reason why these customers were not drinking wine, they didn't like the taste of wine. They found that wine taste was too bitter. They also didn't like the complexity and the process of buying wine. So they felt that picking the correct wine at the wine store or at the wine portion of the liquor store was daunting and very difficult and not fun. So they designed a new product, so we would call this innovation, solving a painful problem for customers. And what did they do? They focused on a wine with a taste that would appeal to non-wine drinkers, so basically sweeter wine. They simplified dramatically the product labeling and the product choice. So just two, in the beginning of the company, just two variations, one red and one white, and the label very clean and simple. And they tried to create some fun and adventure in the wine store with some promotional work with the store. Now, while they're producing a product that is more appealing to the existing wine company, that's more appealing to non-wine drinkers, they also reduce their cost. So how did they do that? Because producing this wine doesn't require many of the expensive factors of competition that the existing players are having their costs driven up by. So they don't need wine complexity because their customers don't enjoy wine complexity. They don't need vineyard prestige and legacy because their customers don't care about that. They don't need a huge range of wines because actually their customers find this a problem. So in creating this innovative product that solves a painful problem for their customers who are new customers to this market, they actually also reduce their costs. So they become both a low-cost producer and providing the highest value product for their new customer segment. Moving from wine to high-tech products, which are more the focus of our course, you can see the same type of strategy canvas applied to the first iPod. So Apple took a very similar approach to the differentiation and positioning of the product when they launched iPod. How did they do that? If you look at the structure of the market competition for iPod when Apple entered the market. So typical MP3 player computers, typical MP3 player competitors were focusing on creating compact, light, and affordable MP3 players. So this was their these were their factors of competition, and this meant the typical player MP3 player market was pretty red ocean because everybody's trying to produce smaller, lighter, less expensive MP3 players. Apple came into the market with an iPod, which was a larger, heavier, and more expensive MP3 player. So they totally shifted the factors of competition here by doing what? By focusing on a new market which cared most about storage space, PC connection, and music software that made their MP3 player easy to use. The initial MP3 player competitors focused on early adopter market who cared about small, light, and cheap. Apple focused on the mass market or the main market, which cared most about storage space, PC connection, and easily used music software, and captured 90% of the market for portable hard drive driven MP3 players and redefined portable music. So that's an application of this Blue Ocean Strategy Canvas to creating a product that is both the most profitable and providing the highest value for customers.